Last time I intended to talk about how criticism could be beneficial to us, but I really just talked about more how we can take criticism with some stride and not react, which I think is the first step that we have to do in order to be able to turn our minds, which is really the method by which we can see criticism to be beneficial. So it's not that when people have a negative attitude towards us, that's a good thing. That's not the intention, but the fact that we receive criticism from somebody does not necessarily mean that we have to take it in a negative light. We have a choice. We can choose how we want to perceive and use a certain situation. So one part of that is when somebody criticizes us, often we're actually getting good feedback, and we can use that for our own growth and benefit. And another part of that is within Buddhism, we have a huge amount of things that we have to do to become a Buddha. And one of those is to practice patience. And practicing patience, in order to do that, we have to have someone who we don't like that much. Someone who we need to be patient with. If we loved everybody, we would never perfect patience. There's no way we could do it. So sometimes I think, sometimes I stop, I pause, and I think, what would it be like if everybody in the whole world had become a Buddha, and I was just the last sentient being? And what would it look like? Well, if I looked around, what would the world be like? Well, part of me thinks, oh, it would be like a pure land. But that doesn't seem very realistic. I think it would look exactly the same, because the Buddhas would manifest in ways to aggravate us so that we would have the opportunity to practice patience. So when somebody's aggravating you, you don't know what that person is and who they are. So they might actually be a Buddha who's trying to help you by helping you to have an opportunity to practice patience. If all the Buddhas flew around on their lotuses and were just super nice and gave you everything you wanted and the wish-granting jewels and everything, you'd never become a Buddha. You'd be stuck in samsara. There'd be no opportunity. So we need the opportunity to do this, and sometimes when people act in ways that we dislike, we have to really grab that opportunity and use it. Otherwise, later on, we'll think, well, I wasted that chance. And it's our choice on how we want to react or act. And we could think, well, what good is learning patience? Because basically all it does is it helps us to deal with the people who bother us anyway, so why don't we just get rid of those people, and then we won't have to worry about patience. But really, patience has a lot more use than that, I personally think, because I get angry at more things than just people. Usually it's people that annoy me, but sometimes I get angry at myself, who I can't really get rid of myself. So, I guess I got to become a Buddha to do that, so my self-centeredness at least. But, and I also get angry at situations. And sometimes we have to have patience with the situation. It's not a person, but sometimes we just have to take a deep breath and say, this situation is what it is. And I can't change that. And so I just have to learn how to deal with it. And by having situations like that, we grow, and our life becomes easier in general all around. So it's really a fantastic opportunity when these situations arise, and we can definitely waste them. And we can go through our whole lives being annoyed at just various little things, and being annoyed that people are criticizing us when we should really rejoice at the great opportunity.